I've got the warmest and the coziest camp mat coming right up. I'm Samantha, and this is Lone Crow Adventures, the channel where we talk about all things camping, hiking, and backpacking. If it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button. There are a ton of amazing videos on this channel I know that you'll enjoy. Today, I'm going to be introducing you to the wintertime camping mat that I use specifically for car camping, and that is the Exped MegaMat 10 LXW. So let's get this thing out and I'll show you all about it. Check this out. This is the Exped MegaMat 10 LXW. This is a fantastic 4 seasons camping mat, and I use this specifically for winter car camping. This mat is an ideal setup if you're going to be doing any base camping activities or some deep woods hunting where you have access to a snowmobile and a sled, and you can throw this in the back. The temperature ratings on this mat are fabulous. It's definitely going to keep you warm in some really potentially deadly situations. This mat is going to be your best friend if you're looking to go camping in the far north during the winter. We'll go through some of the basic specifications on the MegaMat 10. The total weight on the item with the stuff sack and the pump comes in at 6.2 pounds. The mat itself is 3.9 inches thick, 30.3 inches wide, and 77.6 inches long. The R value on the mat is 9.5, and it's temperature rated for minus 54 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's get this bad boy set up. Now, when you first get your MegaMat, it's going to come just as you see here in a nice little sack. One of the really nice things about this mat is they have this sack that they call a sidewinder sack, and basically it opens from the side like this, so this way you don't have to struggle to get it in kind of that small opening in that stuff sack. You just stick it in through the top and then you wind it up just like you do a dry bag. So that is a really nice feature when it's cold and your hands might not be as dexterous to be able to roll it. It's nice that you don't have to fight with the bag to get a tight fit during pack up. Really like that. So it does come with this little pump, and this is just a hand or a foot operated pump, so I'll show you this in a moment. So pull it out, and in the bag, if you look in the little pocket here at the end, it also does come with a pretty generous size repair patch and a repair kit, so you can make some field repairs if you happen to get a puncture or a burn hole or something in here. Now, the nice thing about the Exped is that the Exped is actually a fully self-inflating mat. We would just take this inflate valve and open this up. You can kind of hear some air starting to rush into there. So the manufacturer's guidelines recommend that you open the valve and you wait about 15 minutes before you inflate it, and that just allows some of that air to get in there. I've read different accounts from individuals online saying that the mat will actually fill itself up to 100% capacity, but it can take up to a 2-hour period. My advice with this mat is when you first make camp, the first thing you want to do is take it out of the stuff sack, unroll it, pop the inflate valve, and then go take care of the other things that you need to do. Process your wood, get your fire going, make yourself a meal, and by the time that you get back, this bad boy is going to be nice and full. So we'll go off camera for a while, we'll let this thing kind of inflate for 15-20 minutes, and then I'll show you what it kind of looks like. But you can see it's already starting to unravel itself at the end. All these self-inflating mats, they are self-inflating, but they just take a while. Alright guys, I just want to give you a close-up of the MegaMat pump. How this pump works: there's a piece of sponge on the inside of the main air receptacle on the pump, and there is a valve that you hook up to your mat. So how it would work, you can either use your hand or your foot, but you make sure that this portion of the valve is covered, and you push down, which pushes air out the other side. So it's really important when you're using this pump, if you're having troubles, you need to make sure that you're taking either your foot or your hand off of it during every pump cycle, because if you don't, you'll push the air out, and then that same air will get sucked back up this tube through the sponge. So you need to make sure that you push down, take your hand off, push down, take your hand off, and the air will go into the mat that way. So you can use this to fully inflate that mat right out of the stuff sack. It's going to take about 250 pumps to do it that way. That's why I recommend you just pull that inflation valve, throw the mat down, let it start to self-inflate, and then go either grab a bite to eat or start a fire or do something else you need to do in camp, and then use this pump more so to just kind of top off that air and adjust the firmness that you want on your mat. The MegaMat has been sitting with the inflation valve open for about 15 or 17 minutes, and we're just going to finish topping it off with the pump. So the MegaMat has two valves. This one here that's closed is the deflation valve, and this one here that's open, that is the inflation valve. So that's where we're going to put this little pump. It's a little hard to do with gloves on, but basically you just stick it in here. There, and you'll hear it snap into position. And then you can pump one of two ways. You can use your hand and put it directly over, and make sure that you move your hand off of this plastic piece between each pump. The same pump can also be operated with your foot if you're in a larger space by stepping on it and taking your foot off of it. So I'm being kind of dramatic here because I'm showing that you have to take your foot off of it, but you can do it much more quickly. You can pump it fairly quickly like such. And this won't take very long, just a few pumps to pump it off. Maybe about 50 or so and we should be set. We've got the mat nice and inflated. I inflated it so that it's actually pretty firm. So you can go ahead and disconnect the pump sack. You notice when you do so, there is no air that exits, and that's because it has a little security valve. It does come with this little plastic piece right here. If you've put too much air into it and you just want to take out a little bit, you can use this to insert this. Take my gloves off here. To insert this into the valve here, just to release a small amount of pressure, just like such. And then to seal it, you just pull on this little nub here again. So I'll show you a close-up of that. So the mat comes with two valves. This is the inflate valve here. This is the deflate valve. Now if you pop this valve off, large amounts of air are going to come out. So if you're trying to make some fine adjustments to the firmness of your mat, if you put too much air in, this is the little tool that you use here. And what you do, you just push this in and you can let small amounts of air out. And once you get it adjusted to the firmness that you like, you grab onto this little green elastic thing and you just kind of pull that taut just to get that rubber seal fully covering it again. And then you just snap the inflation valve closed, and then you're good to go. You're not going to lose any air. Delightful. This mat is fantastic. It's super comfortable. It comes with a really nice, generous thickness at 3.9, almost 4 inches thick. And I have the mat inflated to kind of a softer setting, so it'll be nice and cushy on my joints. And even when I take all of my pressure and I put it through my hip bone, or I really dig my elbow into, I still don't bottom out on this mat, which is really nice. Some of the other camp mats I've tried in the past, when you bend over to reach something in your tent, you kind of feel those bony prominences on your body kind of bottom out and kind of hit that floor underneath of the mat. Not going to happen with the MegaMat. So the dimensions on this mat, let's talk about that. We've got 30.3 inches in width. We have 77.6 inches in length. And then, like I said before, 3.9 inches thick. So really nice, generous, nice big mat. So even if you're a taller guy or a wider guy, you're going to be able to fit on this mat no problems. And it is super, super comfortable, super, super warm. The other nice thing about this mat too is I can roll around on it and I can really kind of you know, make a lot of movements on it, and it's not noisy. It's not a noisy mat. Some of those insulated camp mats out there will have kind of a reflective material on the inside of them that crinkles and makes a lot of noise. You're not going to get that with the MegaMat. Honestly, this feels like a very close approximation to almost like a memory foam or a latex foam mattress, which is really, really comfortable. The one bad thing about memory foam, of course, in the winter is that it reacts to the cold significantly. And if you ever had a memory foam pillow and you've tried to go car camping with it, you notice that that thing feels like a brick when you go to put your face on it at the end of the night. That's because the memory foam just constricts and it pushes all the air out of it. So you get that kind of like memory foam kind of feel with the mattress without any of that hardness that comes with using actual memory foam. Not sure what kind of insulation and materials that make up this softness, but it is really comparable to the comfort of your mattress at home. I really, really think this is the most comfortable camp mat you're ever going to find. Pack up with the MegaMat is super, super easy. You just take this deflation valve, pop that open. I usually just lay it right on top of the mat for a minute and let as much of that air come out as I can. This is honestly a really easy mat to pack back up. Maybe one of the more easier mats that I've had to deal with. When I get the air out, you just kind of take it and fold it over a couple times. Then you just get some more air out. And once you do this, then you could just roll her up as you would normal. The nice thing about that Sidewinder stuff sack is that you don't have to worry about getting it itty bitty bitty, so you can stuff it into a long tube style stuff sack, which I think is really nice. We'll just keep that deflation valve open. And you don't have to do a real tight roll. It's hard to roll things tightly when your hands are cold and it's winter time, so you don't have to. I usually just kind of kneel on it and rock back and forth. And then I plug this deflation valve back up again, so that way next time I go to set up camp, I can just plug open the inflate valve and we'll be ready to go. Now with the Sidewinder bag, that pocket where the repair kit is in works perfect for also storing your pump. So that's where I put my pump, it's just right in the end in this little pocket here. And it's so easy, even with gloves on or bulky gear. You get these lined up, and then it just kind of rolls itself down just like a dry bag does. Just kind of roll it over a couple of times. Take this clip. Voila! So let's give the Exped MegaMat 10 a rating on a 5-point scale. For me, hands down, this mat gets 5 out of 5 crows. It is exceptional. It is fantastic quality. Its performance has been phenomenal. It does what it says it's going to do. It is super comfortable. It gives you an entirely level sleeping surface so that you don't feel like you have that kind of side drop off like you do with other mats, which makes it feel like sleeping on your mattress at home. And it is super, super, super warm. I've used this in a variety of different conditions for car camping, and this is my go-to wintertime car camping mat. I can't think of a single thing with this mat that I would actually want to change. I like everything about it. It's easy to set up. The stuff sack is super easy to get it out of and to get it back into. And I appreciate that I can set this mat up from start to finish wearing some gloves and not have to worry about fighting with stuff sacks or fighting with valves. It's just easy. It's designed for cold weather use, and it performs really, really well in the cold weather. So hands down, 5 out of 5 Crow rating. Well, thanks for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you learned something new. As always, links in the description about all the products featured in the video. And if you haven't already done so, now's the time. Hit that subscribe button. And while you're still here, you may as well check out a few of my other videos. Until next time, folks, we'll see you on the trail.